What's up, self-healers? Lisa Lightfeather here. Welcome to my channel, Closing the Gap, where we make a conscious effort to meet you where you're at on your spiritual journey. Today we will be continuing our shadow work series, and in this video I want to share with you a way to make your shadow your ally instead of making it your enemy. And so the concept is more along the lines of giving your shadow what it needs, and so that it's not fighting against you instead of fighting the shadow. Because when we fight the shadow and when we hide the shadow, it tends to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. So in Native American culture, they have a concept that goes similar to this, but it's each person has two wolves within inside of them. One wolf is black and the other wolf is white. One wolf is dark and the other wolf is light. One wolf is good and the other wolf is bad. But these two wolves reside inside of each one of us. And in the Native American tale, it says, whichever wolf you feed will grow. Yeah? So choose to feed the light. But in the Tsultrim concept, which I'm going to share with you today, which is a Tibetan concept that's very similar, it is stated that if we feed one and ignore the other, that the one we ignore tends to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah? So in the Tsultrim concept, it is felt that in feeding our shadows and feeding our dark sides and feeding our demons, that we soothe it and that we bring it in and that we accept it. And then those demons or those shadow sides or those dark sides, instead of fighting against us and being our enemy, they become our ally. Yes? And so I want to emphasize that the shadow side or the demons or the negative parts of us that hold us back are not some demonic being that's hiding in a bush somewhere waiting to pounce out on us. They're not some monster hiding under the bed. The shadow parts of us is anything that's taking our energy, that's taking from us. There's no reciprocity. It's just taking. And so that can be things like fear, anxiety, depression, continuous relationship issues, anger, jealousy, or greed. Yes? So that's what the demons are that are preventing us from going forward. So what we want to do with this Tsultrim meditation is that we want to give our shadow what it needs. Okay, so that it can feel at home and it can feel at peace. So using another analogy, if you have two of anything, two dogs, two cats, two children, and one of them is given everything, one of them is fed, one of them is bathed, one of them is hugged and loved on, and the other one is cast to the side. The one that's cast to the side, it doesn't go away. It just becomes more resentful, more hateful, more angry, more depressed. Yes? Because one part of it is getting everything and the other part is getting nothing. So that's the concept with this meditation. So in preparation for this meditation is that we want to get into our heads the concept of nurturing our dark side, nurturing our demons, nurturing our shadow, however you want to refer to it, nurturing the things that prevent us from moving forward. You want to set up your space. I have my sage and my incense. I have a pillow to my left and a pillow to my right. I'm sitting on my yoga mat. I have my meditation music. I've cleaned my space. I've cleaned the area. And you settle into your space, yeah? You don't want a bunch of clutter around you and things of that sort. I won't actually be doing the meditation today, but I will set the meditation a link to the meditation in the description, along with the verbiage of the meditation and the book, Feeding Your Demons. But I will walk you through the process of the meditation. Okay, so if you would like to do the meditation as I'm walking you through it, that'll be fine. But it would be too much for me to change from pillow to pillow to pillow. I thought about it, but it's too much. So as you settle into your meditative space, what you want to do is you want to decide which shadow aspect of yourself that you are going to work with. So one of the most common shadow aspects is fear. Okay, so whatever shadow aspect you want to work with, right? It's up to you. You can do this meditation as many times as you like and have as many allies as you need, yeah? So you want to decide which shadow aspect you're working with. Once you decide which shadow aspect you're working with, you want to sit to the left or the right, yeah? So you want to sit, so if I'm sitting on this side, and I'm feeling myself in my body, and as I'm scanning my body, I'm feeling within my body, where do I feel the tension? Is it in my head or my neck? Is it in my shoulders or my heart space? Is it in my throat, my stomach, my lower back? Where am I feeling the tension of this shadow aspect? Yes? And so you're scanning your body and you're feeling it. Once you find out where you're feeling the tension in your body, then you want to close your eyes. You want to keep your eyes closed throughout the entire meditation. You want to envision what that feeling feels like. What does it look like? What is its texture? The density of it. Is it slimy? Is it reptilian? Is it smooth? Is it just a void space? What is it? You want to feel what that energy feels like. You want to envision with your mind's eye that this shadow aspect is a being in its own right. Yeah? But based off what it feels like in the body, I want you to imagine what it would look like in the physical. The texture of it, the size of it, its arms, its legs. Does it have hair? Does it have a gender? What does its eyes look like? Because the eyes inside of a shadow aspect can tell you a lot of what this part of your shadow actually feels like outside of yourself, yes? It's the unconscious part of us. So the eyes will tell you a lot. What is the energy of this shadow aspect? Once you have in your mind's eye what this shadow aspect might look like, yeah? You don't want to judge it. You don't want to say anything about it. Just see it. Observe it without judgment. You want to ask it, what is it that you need? What is it that you desire? What is it that you want? What is it that I can do to make you happy? And once you ask those questions, you're bringing this shadow aspect outside of yourself. You're sitting across from it, asking it these questions. Once you ask it the question, you want to get up and you want to move over into the shadow itself. And you want to sit in that shadow aspect and feel what it feels to be that. without judgment. You just want to feel what it feels to be that. If it's slimy, or if it's reptilian, or if it's smooth, or if it's a male, a female, or gender neutral, whatever it is, you want to feel what it feels to be that. And then you want to answer the questions that you asked it. Yes? So some of the questions that were asked were, what is it that you need? And then from the shadow aspect, you want to state what it is you need. So at the beginning, we decided that this particular meditation would be over fear. And so the shadow aspect might reply with, I need to feel safe. I need to feel protected. I need to feel that I am supported. And I need to feel that I'm not going to be harmed in any way. And once the shadow aspect expresses what it needs, and you feel what that feels like, you feel what it feels like to have the shadow aspect's arms, their eyes, their skin texture, whatever it is, the gender that they are, you want to feel that within yourself. Then you will come out of the shadow aspect and you will come back into yourself on the other side of your meditative space. Yes? Settling back into your body, feeling yourself again, you want to speak to that shadow aspect. Keep the shadow aspect in front of you, envision it with your mind's eye. And you want to say to the shadow aspect, what if I told you I could give you everything that you need? What if I told you that everything you need I have within me to give to you? Would you like that? Give the shadow aspect a moment to reply. And the shadow aspect says yes. At that point, you want to envision yourself dissolving into a liquid, any type of liquid. For me, it happens to be honey. I may add lavender to the honey, or I may add cinnamon to the honey, or ginger to the honey, or marigolds, or some other type of flower to the honey, depending on which shadow aspect I'm working with. So in this concept, let's say we have lavender honey. Yeah? You dissolve yourself into that, feeling what it might feel like to just be an overabundance of lavender honey. And you begin to send this nectar, this honey, to the shadow, reminding the shadow that you have an unlimited supply, that it never runs out, that you have everything that it needs. Everything that that shadow aspect needs is within that honey, within that nectar, whatever your nectar may be. It could be alkaline water, it could be hummingbird sugar water, or it could be whatever nectar that you decide. Yes? You remind the shadow aspect that you have an unlimited supply, that it'll never run out. And you begin to feed that to the shadow, whether that's from your heart space or whether the shadow is taking it into their heart space. You want to observe, how is the shadow taking it in? Are they absorbing it in their solar plexus? Are they absorbing it in their heart, their throat? Are they simply just absorbing it through their mouth? Are they absorbing it with their whole being? How are they absorbing it? And you're reminding the shadow aspect that you have an unlimited supply of this nectar that provides them with everything that it needs. The safety, the comfort, the protection, the support, whatever it needs, that I have an unlimited supply of that. And as you're feeding the nectar to the shadow aspect, in your mind's eye, you will begin to see that the shadow aspect turns into something different. So if the shadow aspect was slime or something that wasn't very pleasant, it begins to turn into something different. So I can better explain this portion of it by sharing with you one of my shadow aspects. Yes. And so I had a shadow aspect of wanting to be in control and needing to control the things around me. Yes, which is connected to fear. And I did this meditation, and the control presented itself as a praying mantis. Now, as a human being, a praying mantis is just a little insect. It's like you could step on it, you could kill it. It's no threat. It's a little scary looking. It's a weird insect, but it's harmless to humans, correct? But in the insect world, the praying mantis is a beast. Yes, the praying mantis rules the insect world. The praying mantis has been known to perch on hummingbird feeders and reach out and grab a hummingbird, which is like 10 times its size, and eat it. So my control came across as a praying mantis when I did this meditation. And so when I went through the process of the meditation and began to feed the praying mantis the nectar, it developed into something else. And this will happen during this portion of the meditation. You'll give the shadow aspect, whatever it is, we're not judging it. And you continue to feed it the nectar until it develops into something else. In my case, the praying mantis developed into a blue morphous butterfly. Yeah? And so this is a beautiful butterfly. And what does the butterfly do? The praying mantis, on one hand, it's a praying mantis, so it does what praying mantis do, which it's a beast in the insect world. But what do butterflies do in the insect world? Yeah? They transform themselves. They go through a metamorphosis where they transform themselves. And their primary goal in this lifetime is to pollinate. They can't see their own beauty. They can't see their own power. They don't even think about it. All they want to do is pollinate. They don't try to control which flowers grow or which flowers they pollinate from or they get the pollen from. They just go from flower to flower to flower. They don't judge the flower. They don't say, oh no, that's a yellow flower, I prefer blue flowers. They just go from flower to flower. They don't try to control the situation. So my control shadow manifested into a blue butterfly. So at this stage of your meditation, your shadow will transform into something else. And so as you're giving it the nectar, in your mind's eye, it will transform. Yeah? Don't judge whatever it is. But you do want to ask one question. Are you my ally? Because it's a possibility that it's not an ally. So you want to ask it, are you my ally? And if it answers no, then you continue with the meditation. Giving it the nectar until it transforms into something else. Once it answers yes, that I am your ally, you want to ask it, what is it that you're going to do for me? And you get back into the now ally's body. You feel what it feels like now, the difference that it feels like from being a shadow aspect and being an ally aspect, right? And then you want to ask it, what is it that you will provide for me? What will you do for me? We're going back to the topic of fear. I will let you know that you are protected. I'll let you know that I walk with you. I'll let you know that I support you. That you have what it takes. You have everything you need to do whatever it is that you want to do. That there's no reason to fear. Yes? And so that's the reciprocity of recognizing the shadow, of seeing the shadow, seeing what its motives are, and then fulfilling what it needs. And in return, it gives you what it needs. It takes away that fear. It takes away that insecurity, that feeling of not having someone to protect you. You just have an inner knowing that you are protected. Yes? So it takes away that anxiety. All the things that fall under fear, it'll take that away. So whatever your shadow has manifested itself into, that is now your ally. And then you want to ask it, how can I contact you? What is your name? And it will give you a name. Yes, it'll give you a name. Most of the names that come along with my shadows, they're just corny names like Charlie and Norris and, names like that. But again, we're not judging. Yeah. And so now you have this shadow aspect of you that is a shadow. That is an ally. Yeah. And so this shadow aspect has now become an ally that you can call on. Is it permanently an ally? Yes and no. No, because we fall back into our old patterns, our old ways of thinking, and we have to remind ourselves that we've done the work. And so if your now ally's name is Jeremy, you want to call on Jeremy. Jeremy, I feel this control or this fear coming up. I need you. You want to give it the nectar, give it the nectar, give it the nectar. You want to feed that shadow aspect. There's no reason for you to be afraid right now. I have everything that you need. Remember, I have an unlimited supply, an unlimited source. I have everything that you need. And you have that fear just subsides. Yeah? Because instead of it being a shadow aspect inside of you, now it's an ally. So this is the Tsultrim meditation. Just my version of it. I will drop the original version of the Feeding Your Demons meditation down in the description box. But you want to do this meditation as many times as you need to, whenever you need to, And I don't do it often. I do it about maybe 2 or 3 times a year, And so at this point, I have a squad of allies. And I use them on a regular basis. So although it may sound silly, it may sound like something that doesn't make sense, I encourage you to try this method of the Tsultrim meditation and make your enemies your allies. Make your shadow your ally. Make your demons, your inner demons, your allies. Make them work for you and not against you. Yeah? It's worth a try. So this concludes my video for today on the Tsultrim meditation, feeding your demons, how to make your enemies your allies, how to make your shadow your allies. This concludes this session. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this block of instructions, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time here on Closing the Gap, where we make a conscious effort to meet you where you're at on your spiritual journey. Y'all have a good day.